Hey, beautiful souls. It is Catherine Crestani here, and I wanted to have a chat with you about a really amazing cacao that I drink to help me get in ceremony, to help me ground, but also just because it tastes freaking good. So, if you're curious and want to know about drinking something other than coffee or your standard tea, why not check out Creation Cacao? I love this with a bit of honey and cinnamon sprinkled in and just letting it brew and having that whole intention as you create this cup. So, if you're curious and want to know more, check out the link in the show notes and in the bio and enjoy your cup of cacao. Welcome to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We are so excited to have you joining us on this journey where we explore different ways to empower your soul, whether it's healing in your kitchen or all the way up in the corporate world. Come with us as we look into different ways to heal your mind, body, and soul. Hey everyone, it's Catherine Crestani with another episode of Willow Healing Matters, and today I am delighted to bring the beautiful Stacey Nye to us despite all the technical difficulties and everything that keeps happening whenever we come together, but it means it's going to be a good show. So Stacey's exposure to excellence took place at a young age and formed the foundation for her values and life goals. The family's Montreal home was the scene of frequent national and international meetings of the most respected influencers in competitive Olympic sport. These principles became the base of her moral code. Stacey brought her experience of excellence to her current mission and established this company on global stage. A lifelong entrepreneur, she collaborated with the creator of the F.I.X code technique to introduce his cutting-edge thoughts to the world via live trainings, one-on-one sessions, and online courses. The F.I.X code feels like a quantum guided meditation that allows us to disconnect from past trauma and fears. It frees us to detach from those memories. This technique resonates with those that are awakening to the new world, and Stacey has taught people around the globe to do this simple process. So a big welcome to the show, Stacey.
Thank you. This is wonderful. Thank you for opening up space for me today. That's great.
And so I feel the first question that I want to ask you is how have you gone from being in the Olympic competitions to now meeting this your co-founder and then creating this beautiful FIX method and sharing it with the world?
Yeah, so it's definitely obviously been a life journey. I'm 57 years old, so it has been a lifelong journey of many, many things. But yeah, like you said in my intro, thank you for that. It was beautiful that I was born into an Olympic family. My parents are very high achieving, very much in service to the athletes and to the sport world at the Olympic level, and have been most of my life. And of course, I fell in love with the world, with the world of sport. And when I was 16, even though I had gone to many Olympic Games at the time already, when I'd already gone to Pan Am's, World Championships, World Cups, like that was our life. Like that is what we did all the time. We were constantly on the move and going to all of these international competitions because of who my parents were in their individual sports. And when I was 16, my dad asked if I wanted to go to Scotland for the Commonwealth Games in 1986. So next thing I know, I'm on a plane with the Canadian team headed to Scotland, and I got put to work. I was like, awesome, very much free labor, like worker to worker. This is her summer job, work her. And I had the time of my life. It was absolutely incredible being in the heartbeat of all of it. And how can I help? And I mean, I literally am born into a family of service. So I was like, how can I help? What can I do? So we were doing 23-hour days, like the whole time. It was incredible. Loved every minute of it. So, like eating on the run and sleeping when you could and just making it all happen. So at 16, I said to my dad, I want to do this for a living. Like, this is absolutely what I want to do. And he's like, you're actually very good at it. But Stacey, there's no money in sport. And I was like, oh, watch me. I'm going to figure out how to make a living out of this. So the next year I was 17, I was in Indianapolis for the Pan Am Games. Summer after that, or the winter, I was asked to go to 88 Olympics, and I said yes. And then I went to Seoul, Korea in 88. So within, before I was 20, I had done all of this. Like I had done two Olympic Games, a Pan Am and a Commonwealth game before the age of 20. So I was in it. I was absolutely loving my career, and it just kind of kept going. And whenever I wasn't on an Olympic Games or Pan Am's or Commonwealth or whatever, I actually someone in the political world, which is, I'm not political at all, but that because of my skill set, someone saw them at one of the events that I was working at and said, "Oh my gosh, like you're coming with me, young lady. Like I am stealing you and I'm going to bring you around the world." So I ended up on all of this kind of international circuit of just operations. Like I had no idea what anybody was talking about, but I was immersed into this international like level of protocol and security and all of these things, which I had already done with the Olympic Games. Like, so there wasn't a really big learning curve at all. And so I ended up having this massive career also in the international arena of G7s, G8s, G20s, and all that kind of stuff behind the scenes. Like I said, I had no idea what anybody was talking about, and I was too busy to care. So, but when I started a family in my mid 30s, I ended up doing Athens, Greece in 2004. So my baby was 1. And while I was in Athens, Greece, of course, my baby is not with me. And I was like, I am not doing this again. I cannot. This is 2 full lives. Like I can't. You got to pick here, just because of the way that my career was. It was intense. So as you know, as a mom, it's like it's 23 hours a day, and so was the Olympic Games. So I picked obviously my family, and that was the last Olympics I did. And so it was, how do I reinvent myself at, 35 years old with a child? So I reinvented myself by opening a gymnastics club, because I had actually been a high performance athlete in gymnastics myself. My mom and my head coaches owned the gymnastics club in Montreal, where I grew up. So, and my mother was the head judge of Canada for gymnastics for about 25 years. So gymnastics was like my jig. Like I could do it in my sleep. So opening up a gymnastics club in my little town where I was now living was a no-brainer, because I had to reinvent myself. And then in this time span, there had been a trauma, an accident kind of in 2002. So before my son was born, but I was kind of living, and now it's called anxiety. Back then it was just like, suck it up, cupcake, like get on with it. Like I'm from the generation, like we don't say anything, like we just keep going. So I didn't say anything. I really told nobody about the trauma and what I was going through, and the kind of fears that were starting to like unravel me from that trauma in 2002. And by the time I opened the gymnastics club, I was kind of falling apart on the inside, but again, nobody would have known. I was smiling. I was sit on many committees. I was always active in the community. My gymnastics club was 7 days a week, 14 hours a day. And I had a 5-year-old at the time. Like, it's like, like there's no time to fall apart, and I didn't. But I was on the inside. I was like, my coping during the day was getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And then I was reading this book on I ended up getting separated after a 20-year marriage in 2000, very, very end of like December 1st of 2009. And I remember lying there on New Year's Eve, and I was reading this book, and I don't really do a lot of reading, but my hairdresser gave me this book and said, "Stacey, you're gonna love this." And I was like, okay, whatever, I'll take it. And I actually read it, and it was called Ramtha. And the last paragraph that I read on New Year's Eve going into 2010, it said, there are people coming to the earth that are going to be able to help us with our emotional state and be able to like clear this stuff from us, because it isn't us. It's not how we're created, all these things. So like I looked at this little paragraph with tears rolling down my face going into 2010, with my little one in the room next door sound asleep, going, please, God, send me one of these. Like, please, I want one of these people. Like, let them find me. Let one of those people that are on this planet that can do this, let them find me, because I'm breaking on the inside. And 45 days later, I met a guy who could do that. His name's Daniel. I ended up in a session with him. So a friend of mine, one of my coach's mothers, went to high school with him and saw him at a trade show on the weekend. Again, totally random. And she got a session with him and went, "Oh my gosh, you've got to come up to my little town. And there's this girl, Stacey, you have to meet. I'll make an appointment for her, because she knows everybody, and she's like, she kicks ass. Like she's like a boss bitch. She knows how to get things done." So this girl set me up with Daniel for a session, more for like to put us together as business people, because what she said was, is Stacey could really help you. Like she's really good at this stuff. So I walked in, and the first thing Daniel said to me was, "Oh my gosh, are you ever sad? Oh my gosh." Like, and I'm like, "Yes, I burst into tears and I'm like, I'm so sorry, like doing one of those. And he's like, sit down. And he did the work with me, which you've tried now. So like it's like
It's
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it is graceful, it is elegant, and it is precise and totally result driven. So next thing I know, I am like sitting there, mascara down to here, crying, and he's like, hang on, just what I'm going to do, it's going to feel like a guided meditation, and all I need you to do when you're ready is to just sit back, relax, close your eyes, and follow my instructions. And I'm like, okay. And I closed my eyes, and my first extraction was called sad, because I was really, really sad in that moment. For sure, I just gotten separated, my life's fallen apart, I don't know what to do, like the future looks very scary, doing it all alone, all that kind of stuff. So I opened my eyes from this one time, and I shot my mouth off, which ended up changing my life completely, totally. Because I said, yeah, what did you just do? And whatever, I'm going to figure out what you just did, and I'm going to teach this to the world. And he was like, I'm not really sure about that. I'm like, yeah, hi, my name is Stacey. Yeah, we're doing this. Like, yeah, we're doing that. What's your name? Yeah, we're doing this. And the next thing I know, we were doing this. So I was putting my friends in front of him. I was really kind of moving him in front of everybody that I knew. Like, so my inner circle, and then kept going out and out. And then I pulled out, this is very generational, but I pulled out like my Rolodex or my black book, and my black little telephone book. And I'm like, we're doing this. And I had him around the world. Like he was in Portland. He was like all sorts of different places in the world, helping people do this because they were my friends. And I'm like, I said to every one of them, if this is horse shit, I need you to tell me. Like, you love me, right? Like, so I need you to tell me if this doesn't work and it's only me, because it really works on me. Like, I absolutely love this. But you've got to tell me, because I'm about to go into business with this guy. Like, should I do this? Every single one of them was like, sweetie, it's real. Like, this works. Like, and they were giving me their testimonials and how much it's changed their life, because he would go and spend the weekend with them or whatever. And it was really changing their relationships, their lives, their children's lives. Like, it was working. So I was in business with him, and I had shot my mouth off that day saying, I'm going to figure out what you did, and I'm going to teach the world how to do this. Now, I had no idea what that meant. I've never been a practitioner in my life. I did not know a thing about healing modalities or the world of healing modalities. I'd never read a book. That's not true. I read, I did read Ramtha. I did that. But I really liked the Celestine prophecies and, like the fluffy stuff. But I'd also always had a very spiritual life. Like, but I just didn't talk about it with people. But I absolutely had a very spiritual life. Both my parents are very deeply connected to source, very much. And we were brought up in that kind of home. Very positive, very loving, very supportive, and very open and dynamic, and ask questions, big questions. Are those really, is that, like, do you believe what they're telling us about the pyramids? Like, I remember that conversation when I was 4 with my dad. Like, I want to question that, that, like, it's been a part of my life the whole time. Well, the next thing I know, I'm saying, okay, so what's a practitioner? Like, what do they do? Okay, I need to figure out how to be one. So I became a practitioner by doing the F.I.X code, because that's the only modality I know. So he taught me because I said, you teach me the F.I.X code. If you can teach me, I am a moron. I know nothing about this industry. Like, I don't know how to do any of this. If you can teach me how to do this, we can teach anybody how to do this. And he taught me how to do it. And then my girlfriend said, okay, now we've got to get you people to practice on. I'm like, okay. And within a week, I didn't have one time slot open for the entire week. Like, I literally had 40, 50 clients a week. It was nonstop. And that was like for a long, long, long time. So I kind of said to Dan at one point, okay, I think I got this practitioner thing good. Like, I think I've got this. Like, we're good. I got what practitioners do. What a fun way to live. Oh my gosh. I absolutely loved my private practice. And then one of my clients, who, of course, most of my clients were healers, which, again, I was like, that's cool. Like, again, not really sure what that means, but yay, you. Like, and so one of them said to me, who is, of course, a dear friend and has been from the moment I met her 12, 13 years ago now, she said to me, okay, no more shit. No more shit. You got to teach me how to do this. We have to ask Daniel to teach her how to do this. So I said, well, funny enough, he's actually coming here for a business meeting in about 15 minutes after your session. She goes, oh, I said, do you want to stay and meet him? And she's like, yeah. So I introduced him, and that was it. Then it was just a train left the station. So she said to him, please teach me how to do this. So I looked at Daniel and I said, I think we're here. What do we do? And he's like, okay, put together a course. So I did. And I put together I put together a live training. So we've done many live trainings in the early days to make sure that we were covering everything. We've had it in the right order. You know, we had the students, live students doing it immediately. Like by Sunday, they were doing the extractions on each other, and it was working every single time. It was really, really good times. And they were also giving us feedback on the order of things and make this clear and all that. Anyways, next thing I know, I'm making videos and putting together an online training. I had no idea what any of this was. I had never, I barely used a computer, let alone knowing how to create an online course. So please know that I created this online course with a lot of deep breaths and God, I hope this works. Not the content. The content I knew inside and out, but it was everything from the lighting and the clicky buttons and the uploading and so it comes with PDFs, it's loaded, and it's all at your own pace. It's amazing. The people that have taken it apply this in there every single day. You've tried it, you know how incredible it is and how quickly you can use this in your private practice with all your other modalities. So that was really cool because people that were taking this course were tappers and the code one, the
Emotion code.
emotion code, like many emotion code people love this. And so they're using it all kind of together. Like they pull out the F.I.X code when the F.I.X code is required, and they over time their clients are like, can we just do the F.I.X code? Can we just like cut it all, just do that? And because it's so
Fast
and totally works. So that was an evolution that we didn't see coming, which was pretty incredible. I've only ever used the F.I.X code because I don't know another modality. So I know my clients love it. And the online training is just fun. That's what I keep being told. And for years and years and years, it's like, Stacey, it is so fun. It's like I can listen to you via podcast because I can just put you on. Daniel's voice notes are incredible. The PDFs are amazing. There's a binder. There's it's just loaded. And you do learn how to do this. And then once a month, this is actually going to be now this year, 2026, we're going into a new teaching concept, which is we're going to meet once a month on a Saturday, probably, well, whatever day, I'm not sure, but probably a Saturday. And it's going to be a little bit of theory in the morning of just recapping from the online training. And then we're just doing it all afternoon. We're just going to be practicing. So you're going to be jumping in, practically doing this with us. Like we're going to be right there, Daniel and I, like moving you through the technique with all of the coaches, like practitioners, and we call them Heal the Healers, which have all been trained by us and certified by us. So the support team is amazing. The community is off the charts. Yeah, like the people that are in our community, just they blow my mind. They are incredible people, and I really am blessed. Like I just feel so honored and blessed to be able to have done this and continue doing this literally like every day. Like it's just so much fun.
And it is that fast. And I feel like it's such perfect timing because we've had this big shift in how we heal, and we've gone from having to unpack every karmic trait, every deep, embedded thing to saying, all right, the words I got was feel it, accept it. Feel it, observe it, accept it, let it go. And that's essentially what the F.I.X method is. It's like, okay, where is it? Feel it. All right. Where is it in your body? All right, let's observe it. Let's see what happens, and let's just pull it out and let it go.
Mhm.
I like using the term at the moment, Control Alt Delete.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we call them parasitic programs because these things vibrate in a space that we can't see. They're magnetic in nature, but they kick the shit out of us. Like, they really beat us up. So anybody that is out there right now listening to this, that they are feeling like they just can't get their emotions in check, or that like they've got the stories running in their head, like, I'm a failure, I'm a loser, I'm just terrified of being judged, like everybody's judging me, or it's their fault, or it's always my fault, or the fear of making a mistake, or the feeling betrayed and not being able to get past it, or the feeling sad or hurt, like all of that stuff. Those are all what we call codes, which is why it's called the F.I.X code. Now, if anybody's interested, this is just a little bit of trivia. The F.I.X code actually is an acronym. So it stands for FLEAR, which is Daniel's last name, the creator and founder of the technique, FLIR, intuitive, which is the I, and then extraction is the process of the technique. And then code, so it's the F.I.X code. Code is whatever the feeling or fear that is being extracted through the process. So it's multi-layered, which is typical Daniel. He's very multi-dimensional and is happiest when he's in that space. But yeah, it is really fun. So if anyone is interested in doing this, we had a big meeting coming into 2026, and Daniel, he's never done this, is offering to do the private complimentary sessions with anybody that is interested. So if you click the button, you will get an appointment in Daniel's calendar. Yeah. And you will meet the creator and founder. You can ask him questions. You've got, 15 minutes, and he will do the work with you, which is, again, very few people get him, and never free. Like, oh my gosh. So it's pretty incredible. And you can ask him anything. And I'm really excited about this because it's an offering that I didn't see coming, so he is literally he is giving back at a really big level. He's coming like kind of back down to the grassroots and meeting people at our level where it's the entry point. And he's like, no, I want to meet everybody now. So versus like nobody gets really to meet him until you're in the system and you're in the course and you're being entrenched. Some people don't even meet him until they're getting certified. So I really feel like this is a really incredible gift he's giving to people and offering. And if anybody of your listeners is interested, please click the button, because he's giving his time away, and he's gonna he wants to share this. So.
See, and it's so beautiful. And so we cleared anyone going, what did they work on? I cleared mum guilt, gone completely. And it was so quick, and I didn't even realize it was such a big thing, and it was, and even it's still coming out, but like in a different way, because all the layers are clearing that were attached to it now. So
Yes.
even yesterday we were having this chat, and then I was just crying out, but it wasn't that feeling of mum guilt. It was like, okay, this is the next layer that needed to be cleared, but it couldn't actually be moved until that bigger.
Yeah, we call that blowouts, because anything that was attached and created from that mom guilt, all the neural pathways, all the physical stuff that's gone on, like that has been created from that mom guilt, is all gone. But now all the stories that were attached to it and everything that was created is kind of like blowing out. Like it runs for the one last time, just giving it one more kick at the can. But the neural pathways are completely clearing, and you're going to completely forget you ever felt mom guilt, which is amazing. Because if we take mom guilt, which is pretty big, any mom out there knows exactly what it is. It is pretty darn big. It stops us from living our lives and feeling good about anything that we're doing for ourselves or anything except the baby. And that can last all the way until their 20s and their 30s. Like, it doesn't mean that mom guilt goes away, but with this technique, mom guilt goes away, and you get to have a completely different relationship with your children, because mom guilt makes you do stuff you don't want to do, or things you put yourself last, which is not okay,
No.
So yeah.
Yeah, and it takes you out of the present as well. It stops you being present because you go out with a friend and finally get to go have that tea or the coffee or chai or whatever, and then instead of sitting there, you're like, oh my goodness, I should be at home. I should be at home doing this, and even, but then sometimes you want to spend time with the family, and then they expect you to want alone time, and you're like, no, actually, no, not right now. But it's just an interesting balance as being a mum. And
So
like
have
you
you
said, yeah.
have you found now that it's gone, you actually can enjoy that time with your friend, and then when it's time to go home, you go home?
Yeah.
Like, it's a completely different life. Like, it just feels different.
Exactly. Or even just like doing this. Like, I'm like, well, he knows I'm doing this. He can go fend for himself. He's very capable for an
Yeah.
hour. And
Yeah.
then, and then we'll come back, and he's playing
Incredible.
currently, so
Yeah.
it's just takes that level of, oh my goodness, I should be doing all these other things. And,
Yeah.
like, da, 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 da. But in the end, exactly like you said, as a mum, we need to actually fill our cup up first. And then our kids, our family, they all get the
Yeah.
overflow, not
Yeah.
the dregs of what we can manage to throw to them.
That's right. And also too, like, guilt just as an aside, but it's the truth because I've been doing this for very, very long time, 15 years, is guilt has you eating unconsciously. So you will find that when guilt is removed, you'll stop nibbling when you didn't even know you were nibbling anyways, but you were gaining weight, couldn't figure out why, can't drop the mommy weight, all of that kind of stuff because of the guilt. So guilt keeps us eating. We feel bad. Like guilt makes us feel bad, right? Like that's what guilt is. And so what do? We go for treats, sweets. We go for something that makes us feel good, makes us feel like better, or like we need sweetness in our lives right now because I feel so bad, So we're eating unconsciously all the time. So when we remove, when a practitioner, a fixed code practitioner, helps somebody with guilt, people tend to lose weight because they stop eating unconsciously. It's amazing. Yeah. Guilt also wakes us up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. And that panic starts and we start to feel bad and we go over conversations that we've had in the past and we feel bad about them, all that crap. With guilt gone, you start sleeping through the night. You stop feeling bad.
The weight makes perfect sense because weight is a protective mechanism. Like if you can't shift your weight, it all comes down to being protective. So if you're protecting yourself because you feel guilty about something, then it makes sense. Then you're going to nibble things. And then waking up, yeah, it's your subconscious going, hang on, we haven't sorted this out yet. It's still in a
That's right.
loop.
So anybody out there that's got a loop going on, like a loop conversation, that is a parasitic program. We are not designed as human beings to have conversations with another entity in our head. We are not. So if you are having a conversation or yelling at somebody or having a battle or a fight or whatever it is, that is a parasitic program. And a practitioner can help you with that immediately. Like no joke. So and it will be gone because once these things are gone, these parasitic programs are gone, all the language like you have felt being out with your girlfriend for a coffee, you didn't have the story going on beating the crap out of you. You just had a coffee with your friend and then you went home, like no big deal. But with the guilt there, it doesn't let up. It just makes you keep feeling bad, worse and worse and worse. So that right there, that's a conversation. I think this is why they say cuckoo. Like it's that going the loopy loop. That is a parasitic program. We're designed to be present, which is silence. There's silence in our head. I spend many, many very long periods of time with absolutely nothing going on in my head. Nothing. No, like no, nothing. I just am. It's very peaceful. And the moment I am not peaceful or there is something going on in my head and I'm having a conversation, I stop and I ask myself the magic question. And this is the magic question to all of your listeners. Biggest problem you have in your life right now, when you think about it, and you don't need to tell the practitioner what it is, okay, what you're thinking about, but when you think about that, how does it make you feel? If you could put it in 1 or 2 words, what would it be? And then you let the client say the word, whatever it is, and then the practitioner will do that work with you. So one of the most graceful parts about what we do with the F.I.X code, and it's why I love it so much too, is that I do not have to lose my marbles and tell my story and cry or be angry or whatever and get all worked up for the practitioner to understand what's going on with me and then to be able to help me. No. As a F.I.X code practitioner, I don't need to know the story because the story is not the problem. How you feel about the story is the problem. And you feel that way about 10,000 million stories of your life. Okay. So many traditional therapies, and again, we're like really moving past all of this, which is fabulous. Like talk therapy doesn't work because you're not solving the, it just keeps, and then the therapist adds their perspective to the trauma. Now the client walks away with a whole new version of what happened. It's not true. It was just so as a F.I.X code practitioner and as a F.I.X code client, or potentially new practitioner, if anybody's interested in learning how to do this, there's no storytelling. You don't have to reveal anything about you to have that. I heard this one day and I absolutely loved it. It was called vulnerable hangover, like where you come out, right? Isn't that
And you feel
the
like, oh
best?
my gosh, did I share too much in that moment? I can't believe I said all of that. Why would I do that? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the vulnerable hangover. And when the woman said it, I was like, am I allowed to borrow that? That is genius. And she's like, yeah, go ahead. I'm like, okay, I'm going to say it all the time now. But We don't have to do that with the F.I.X code because you're not sharing anything except for whatever you're privately thinking about. How does it make you feel? That's it. Just one or two words. That's all I need to know to be able to do the work. So it is, you get to actually keep your grace. You don't have to do the whole vulnerable thing to get help and to have a solution, because this is a solution based technique without question.
Yeah, and I feel that's such an important distinction too, because it keeps you out of the nervous system reaction. Because when you keep talking about the trauma and reliving the trauma, you can't step out of the fight, flight, freeze. You can't step back from that. Whereas it's like, okay, what's the emotion? Name that that's coming through. You're like, oh, I can do that. And you bring a little bit of logic in it because you have to apply
Yeah.
something to it. And then
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay. All right, that's quick. And it's like, does that,
Yeah.
and even I know, like, I don't specifically do the F.I.X method, but when I've been working with my clients, it is that quick. Like, if once you just get it, it's like, okay. So for me, I work with colors. I was sharing that with you a little bit. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
what color do you see? All right, what color should it be? All right, let's go. Let's move
Yeah.
it. Let's move
Yeah.
it. And they're like, oh, the other color's coming back. I'm like, why? What can we say to it? No, go away. I'm like, great, move it.
Yeah.
No, or whatever comes through.
Yeah.
It is like this is the whole thing, and your method is so simple. Like you said, anyone can learn it, anyone can embrace it. But if more people start doing that and doing it with each other, wow, aren't we going to have a different world? My goodness.
That's my dream, is to have this in grade one. Like my child was 5 when we met the F.I.X code, and he is 23 now. So he's been around this for a really long time. It's mind blowing that he does not know a world without the F.I.X code. His girlfriend, since grade 9, does not know a life without the F.I.X code. His friends don't know a life without the F.I.X code because they've known me since they were 5s. And their mothers, so I worked with the kids, Daniel worked with all the mothers. And because I had the little kids in the gym, Daniel had the moms in my office. Like he just took over my office at the gym. And all the moms were coming in and getting sessions with Daniel. It was incredible. Like my whole network was just changing in front of my eyes. And it was so beautiful. Like these kids are incredible. They do it with each other. You know, a high school Friday night in my world was, they were all, sitting in a circle going, okay, biggest problem you had a rough week, biggest problem you had in your life right now. When you think about it, how does it make you feel? Like that was the teenagers sitting around in a circle in the living room. Like how cool is that? They weren't out doing anything but this. And if they were at a party, I mean, I got lots of phone calls when girls were at the party, or anybody, but they were embarrassed or they were hurt or whatever went down at, a teenage party. And they would just call me and they would just say, Stacey, like, I'm not okay. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? Put your earbuds in, go to the bathroom, you know? And the rule was they never told me anything. So I couldn't rat them out. I couldn't tell their mothers, right?
See, I don't have to say it to you girls. I'm just guilty.
And I was like, I don't want to know. Just tell me the code and we'll do this. And they were in the bathroom at the party. They put their earbuds in. We did the code, whatever it was, hurt, embarrassed, ashamed, whatever it was. And within 5 minutes, they were like, thank you, Stacey. And I'm like, you got it, girl. You go. And they back to the party. So I didn't know who did what to who, but it didn't matter anymore because the person was felt great again. I would have, my son would call me and say, hey, like, this guy's not okay. Can you talk to him? I'm like, of course, and bam, within a couple of minutes, I don't even know the kid, but next thing I know, I'm doing an extraction with them and my son gets back on the phone. He's like, Mom, you're the best. Bye. And I'm like, bye, bye. Okay, bye. Like,
Love you.
so
Yeah.
yeah, love you. Having the F.I.X code in your life, like whether you want to be a practitioner or not, just having it in your life and knowing how to do this is the most amazing gift to self. Like I feel like the luckiest girl in the world because I literally fell into this and I've just had it in my life for so long now. I can't even imagine my life without it. I can't imagine my children's my child's life without it, or all of the people he loves, all the people I love, and then all my clients, which I've had an absolute blast with for, mega years, and the amount of courses I teach now, and just the fun courses you can take at the that are out there. Not only the training, there's all sorts of other fun stuff that you can, just courses if you're somebody that likes to take courses. I've designed all sorts of fun courses that you can take, like breaking out of the maze, the bridge to your authentic self, which is really powerful. We've got a spiritual cleanse, which is insanely powerful. We have passion to purpose, which is just super fun and like, just figuring it all out. But every course we have outside of the online training and learning how to do this, that's like the flagship course, which is you will learn how to do this. And by Daniel and I, like we're there. The other courses are videos and they're fun. But you then find a practitioner on the practitioner page that resonates with you. So every course comes with a complimentary session once you've purchased it. So you can try different practitioners on the practitioner page to see who you resonate with. And then you can purchase their services to do the course with you. So they'll do all of the fears and the blocks and everything that's stopping you from living the life you really the one you want. So this is timeline jumping. This is like the more we clear, the more you jump. I timeline jump sometimes 3 times in a week, like depending on the size of what I just found. And the higher you go, the learnings are higher frequency you go, your learnings become very exquisite, very like elegant and elaborate, because this technique is a lot about the learnings. Like what are we learning? So you kind of get smarter.
It's bringing in that level of emotional intelligence that we've never been taught.
Absolutely.
This
Yes.
is
Absolutely.
this is what I feel is definitely missing from schools and from, like you said, curriculums and things like that, because if we could all understand our emotions better, we wouldn't get in our own way.
Well, and if we all knew how to do this, like to me, I want to teach the grade 1 teachers how to do this. I want to teach the nurse at the high school. I want to teach the librarian, so that children can lift up their hand in any grade and just be excused, and they can go to the library or to the secretary or whatever it is of the school, and they can have a session in 5 minutes, because there's no revealing of any information. They just get it cleared and then they go back to class and they're much, much better. So if that's one of my goals, is to get this into the school systems, but through it in a very, very gentle way, because it's going to start that way. Eventually I think it's going to be everywhere, and I think it's going to be taught everywhere. But HR companies, like if you have a company where you've got a sales team and half your sales team is embarrassed, they're not going to sell. But you let a fixed code practitioner do some work with your sales team and remove things like embarrassed, fear of not closing the sale, fear of failure, fear of saying something wrong to screw up the sale, whatever it is. Fear of not being able to provide for my family is a big one in sales, because it's very random. But that's like a day of work for us, not even, with the whole team. And by the end of the day, your team is cleared of all of this crap. And the next day, you're going to watch your sales go up, because when you've got a salesperson that's no longer embarrassed or afraid of asking for the close or asking for the sale, whatever it is, it's like your bottom line just changed drastically, So I can do this with any industry, because every industry has its own fears that come with it. If you are a performer, or if you want to be an influencer, if you want to be on podcasts or whatever, and yet you're embarrassed of anything from screwing up, saying something wrong, blowing up your entire career because they said something stupid, or not liking how you're looking, or whatever. Again, that's like probably one session. Like it's not that long. But with all those fears gone, you no longer are afraid to do all of that stuff. So you just kind of do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just do it.
Yeah, exactly.
We're channeling
no
Nike
fear.
now. Just do it.
That was my childhood. Yeah, that was literally my childhood. I was the commercial. Yeah.
And as we start to finish our time together, Stacey, I asked the guests that come on the show, if you could heal or change something in the world, what would it be?
I really wish that there was no such thing as anxiety and depression. And I feel like I'm committed. I've committed 15 years of my life, and I'm going to continue to commit the rest of my life to supporting that dream, which is completely eliminating anxiety and depression from humanity, from humans, because it hurts us and it's not okay. Yeah. So I actually have the opportunity to do that. So I'm going to use my platform and to keep speaking and keep communicating and connecting with amazing people like you. So thank you so much for giving me this platform to share this, because it is my dream. It is my absolute wish that those horrible
Feelings. It's
like
not even a
they're
feeling. It
huge.
is a program.
Yeah, like it's huge. Anxiety and depression is huge, that it disappears from this planet completely, and that people feel in harmony with them, in harmony with themselves, and their body, mind, and spirit feel good versus the chaos that we are feeling, and the frequency chaos that is designed right now on this planet that is releasing. I do feel that. I feel like over the
Agreed.
last 8 months, it's like, whoa, like something released again. Oh, so it's happening again, which is great. So we know we're on the other side of the horrible stuff, like we're on the other side of the wall, but like we still have a way to go. But yeah, that is my dream, and I'm gonna go after it, because I really feel like I can have an impact in this by teaching as many people as we can, which is as many people click the button. Like, you click the button, you're going to learn this. So yeah,
Which is amazing. And where can people come and click the button, Stacey?
great question. Yeah. So it's thefixcode.com, and it'll be under the podcast, and you'll just basically go to the website, check it all out, and it'll be right there. Click the button and book a session with Daniel. So, which is pretty cool. You're going to meet the creator and founder, and you're going to have it done with him. Yeah. So it's pretty simple. We've made it very simple. You're just going to fill out a little form and click the button, and then pop over to his calendar and book a session with him. And then just ask him anything. You will have a session with him. So get ready to experience this, because it's pretty cool.
And change your life.
Yeah. And if you're ready to do this, again, like if this is something that you want to do and learn, ask Daniel. Like, he will give you all the answers, and he'll tell you exactly where to go.
Yeah. Amazing.
Get to join. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stacey. And I'll make sure to put all those details in the show notes. And even if you think I can't become a practitioner, maybe just it's time to experience it in itself and just see what you think afterwards. Be open and curious.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This is truly like, and it is to experience this, to know and get hope and have hope. Because when you have a session, you'll realize, oh my gosh, I can get out of this mess that I'm in. I can change my life, because that is what this technique does. It gives you hope. You realize, whoa, I don't ever have to feel bad again. Like, whether you, and you may just end up always being a client. I have hundreds and hundreds of clients that they don't want to learn how to do this, because their point is, why would I learn how to do this when I got you? But they are true clients. Like, they're not interested in becoming practitioners. And which is totally fine. Many people really just like taking courses, which is why we've got really fun courses that you can take and have it backed up with a practitioner of your choice. You get to choose which one you want.
Well, thank you, Stacey. Thank you for sharing
You're very
your
welcome.
journey, your method. Thank you for the free mini session. I loved it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We have so much love and gratitude that you have taken the time out of your day to empower you on your healing journey. The views shared by the person being interviewed might not necessarily reflect that of the host and should be used at your own discernment. Trust what resonates for you and follow your heart and soul guidance. If you have any underlying medical conditions or mental health issues, please consult with your healthcare provider before pursuing any of the recommendations. Likewise, you can always contact the person being interviewed to find out more information. This can be found in the show notes. Remember to activate, align, heal, empower, and find love in everything that you do.